KUTV Weekend Live on this first Saturday of August. Happy new month to you, our dear viewer. And on that happy note, let's get the highlights tonight. Treasury CS nominee John Mbadi declares his support for the bottom-up policies while stating that his loyalty to ODM remains unshaken. Salim Vuria and Rebecca Miano among nominated cabinet secretaries who faced the Moses Wetangula committee on Saturday. 4 people dead with hundreds of traders left counting losses at Toy Market after an early Saturday morning fire. Plus, Kenya's sprinter Ferdinand Omanyala shines in the 100 meters heat qualifying for the finals slated for Sunday.
This is Weekend Live with Theo Macharia.
And that being in order, our sign language interpreter tonight is Lucy Carrier, and this broadcast is also coming to you live on our social media platforms, YouTube at KUTV News Kenya, or on X, or formerly Twitter at KUTV_Kenya. Let's get you informed with the latest tonight. And Treasury Cabinet Secretary nominee John Mbadi, during his vetting earlier today, stated that he is still a loyal member of the Orange Democratic Movement, vowing to implement the bottom-up strategies, one whose policies he says are no different from that of his party. Mbadi said that he is the best fit for the position given his experience in matters finance, having served as a member of the Budget and Appropriations Committee. Our reporter Pauline Dongo has more tonight.
My net worth, Mr. Speaker, is 380 million.
Treasury nominated Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi has pledged his loyalty to the Orange Democratic Movement, stating that he rejected the Finance Bill 2024 as per the wishes of the people whose interests he says he stands for. Speaking while appearing before the Parliament's vetting committee, Mbadi adds that he is free to take over the Treasury docket since he previously been serving in matters of finance through the Budget and Appropriations Committee for 15 years.
I am a very faithful and loyal member of it. By the way, I have been a member of the Economic Council of Azimio, advising the leader of Azimio on economic matters. Mr. Speaker, if you looked at the social space, everybody was saying reject. And since I am representing people, not stones, not animals, I had to listen to the people and do what they wanted, Mr. Speaker, by rejecting.
The former ODM chairperson further detailed the need to prioritize debt accountability in the country, noting that he will publish the county's debts yearly. Additionally, he shared his stance on Kenya's debt situation with the IMF, stating that IMF is not the problem because it did not invite itself to the country, but rather the IMF was invited into the country. According to Mbadi, there is a need for the country to start weaning itself from the IMF loans and go back to the financing itself.
We must move to a system where we divorce ourselves from IMF and start depending on ourselves as we were before.
While acknowledging Kenya's debt situation, John Mbadi highlighted his strategy to enhance resource mobilization through the Kenya Revenue Authority by enhancing efficiency rather than introducing more taxes. Some of the reforms Mbadi intends to implement include restructuring of the KRA top authority, updating system used by the authority, and enhancing training for the KRA staff members.
One of my first tasks will be to make sure that I have a sitting with KRA to look at how we can reform that institution.
Mbadi currently serves as the chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, responsible for holding to account ministries, departments, and agencies. Upon approval, he will be taking over from the former Treasury CS John Ndongo. Ndongo Pauline, KUTV.
Right, and the Petroleum CS nominee Opiyo Wandayi this afternoon, while appearing before the Moses Wetangula-led vetting committee, seized the opportunity to express his readiness to lead and oversee the crucial sectors of energy and petroleum, vowing to deal with cartels in the Kenya power circles once and for all. Cynthia Ochieng followed the vetting and prepared the following report tonight.
An expert in agricultural and development economics and the then minority leader in the National Assembly, Petroleum and Energy Cabinet nominee Opiyo Wandayi faced intense questioning and scrutiny during the Wetangula-led vetting. Nevertheless, he had an obligation to prove his ability to oversee the vital sector of energy and petroleum while defending his skills about his leadership and plans.
Heavily opposed to the G2G.
Wandayi, who countless times opposed the government-to-government deal system of importing petroleum products, had a difficult time sharing his views on the same as the nominee for energy and petroleum.
That gives me ample time to go and study its impact, its workings, and understand it, and for me to be able to offer appropriate guidance. Honorable Speaker.
In a bid to deal with frequent shutdowns of power in the country and the matter of monopolistic nature of Kenya Power and Lightning Company, and also on how he would evacuate inappropriate power transmission in the country, Wandayi said he would engage experts to aid fast-track the development of the transmission and create an efficient team to avoid the conflict.
Empower REREC fully to be able to undertake the mandate of last-mile connections, okay? So that KPLC can concentrate, can focus on its commercial function, business.
The non-bold Opiyo Wandayi did not shy off from answering questions on matters dealing with the invasion of cartels into the Kenya Power and Lightning space, claiming that he will constitute a robust KPLC that will run optimally, sufficiently and effectively to avoid the confusion. Ochieng Cynthia for KU TV News.
Has undergone or is supposed to be.
All right, many thanks, Ochieng Cynthia, for that comprehensive report. Let's now move on still on matters CS nominees vetting. In a bid to promote the local manufacturing industries in the country, nominated CS for Investment, Trade and Industry Docket Salim Vuria laid out his plans to approve the eco-levy tax on imported finished products upon approval, if approved, as a Trade and Investments Cabinet Secretary. Previously, the eco-tax had received a fair share of criticism and opposition.
The eco-levy tax imposed on finished products such as sanitary towels and diapers were among the reasons Kenyans were against the approval of the controversial Finance Bill 2023-2024. However, during his assessment, the former Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs Salim Mvurya aired his intent to approve the tax if vetted in as the CS for Investment, Trade and Industry. While defending the levy, Salim argued that the imposition of the tax will lead to the growth of local manufacturing industries in the country.
Critical things I want to commit we bring in this house is the Trade Development Bill and the Trade Development Policy that is going now to provide a clear dichotomy about the foreign and the local investors.
As the nominated Minister for Investment, Trade and Industry, Mvurya assured the committee to do away with the issue of counterfeit products if approved, stating that counterfeit integrated management system will be used alongside KIPS and KEPRA to ensure no counterfeit arrives the market. On the other hand, Rebecca Miano, the nominated Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife, while appearing before the Committee for Assessment, highlighted plans to integrate the better use of social media platforms in furthering her work in the ministry. She encouraged the creation of content showcasing various tourist sites to continue appealing to tourists.
For our tourism, if we are able to attract many more airlines from various destinations and bring our visitors and tourists to Kenya with much ease.
Miano previously served in the trade docket until her dismissal and then subsequent nomination for Tourism Cabinet Secretary. Songoro Masimaira, KUTV.
Youth Affairs, Sports and Arts nominee Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has emphasized his passion for mentoring young people and implementation of key strategies to care for their welfare. Murkomen set out his ambitions to make stadiums ready by December 2025 in preparations for the Africa Cup of Nations, December 2024, in preparations for the Africa Cup of Nations and Championships 2025. Ivy Macharia with more on this.
Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, no matter how much we try to publicize these great things we have done, it is trounced by criticism and predetermined programming, Mr. Speaker.
Former Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport Kipchumba Murkomen found himself on the hot seat today as he defended his achievements in his former docket while simultaneously defending his nomination as the Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, Sports and the Arts. He cited that it was difficult to share the achievements of his docket as many come with criticisms and predetermined notions.
We told him if you want to get approval, just take that suit and that tie. Anyway, Mr. Speaker.
He also spoke of his passion for the youth and the youth mentorship programs he had undertaken. When asked about the hot topic on every Kenyan's tongue for the past few weeks, the state of ownership of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, Murkomen vehemently denied selling it, explaining that the process would be long and tedious and would need the participation of several parties. He assured Kenyans that their assets were safe.
So for someone to wake up one morning and say all such an elaborate process would have involved one individual, let alone even one agency. A PPP process is a collective process of government. And I want to assure the people of Kenya that your assets are safe. Jomo Kenyatta International Airport is safe.
Murkomen promised to make Kenya African Nations Championship 2025 and Africa Cup of Nations ready by preparing stadiums by December, setting up a steering committee with stakeholders, as well as inviting the private sector for investment opportunities.
Mr. Speaker, I do a lot of mentorship across the country, even when I was in the Ministry of Roads and Transport. Mr. Speaker, I ran a tournament, a supporter tournament, Mr. Speaker, that runs in about 5 counties, and we were moving to the 6th county in the Kerio Valley region.
As Kenyans wait for the last stretch of Cabinet Secretary nominee vettings, they can only hope that the candidates most attuned to positive change emerge victorious. Ivy Macharia, KUTV.
All right, and that story by Ivy Macharia closes that chapter for Cabinet Secretary's nominees. And the Ministry of Health has confirmed that no new cases of monkeypox have been reported in the country following the initial case in Taita Taveta. The ministry is actively monitoring close contacts of the infected long-distance driver at his workplace, the hospital he was admitted, and his travel routes. In a statement released today, the ministry outlined its comprehensive response measures. These include enhanced surveillance in the counties of Busia, Mombasa Highway to Taveta Road, improved cross-border communication and public awareness campaigns. Furthermore, the ministry is collaborating with county government authorities and other relevant stakeholders to implement all necessary interventions to prevent further outbreaks of the mpox disease. The public is urged to stay vigilant and adhere to health guidelines. And now on to some tragic news. 4 people have been reported dead, with hundreds of traders left counting losses at Toy Market after an early 4 a.m. fire razed stalls and destroyed property of unknown value, rendering the famous Kibera market empty. Preliminary reports indicate that the fire was as a result of electrical fault, and the 4 who died had gone to rescue their properties but were overwhelmed with the uncontrollable raging inferno. Nairobi County Governor Johnson Sakaja has since visited the area, where he promised to support the families of the bereaved and also rebuild market stalls for the traders to help them get back to their feet. However, a section of angry youth who called for a permanent solution to the recurrent toy market fires pelted stones at Governor Sakaja, forcing the police to fire in the air to disperse the youth. Other leaders, including Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino and Kibra MP Peter Orero, have also visited Toy Market since the fire.
Hatutaruhusu jambo kama hili lifanyike, hatutaruhusu hii shamba inyakuliwe. Tunataka serikali wafanye uchunguzi within 7 kwa siku 7 ama siku 14. Washike yule mtu ambaye amesababisha hii moto. Tunataka kila mtu ambaye amechomekewa hapa awe compensated. County government ya Nairobi iko na zaidi ya 900 million. Mtu yeyote ambaye kwa katika emergency fund, mtu yeyote ambaye amechomekewa lazima apewe, kama ni kidogo ni 500,000 Kenya shillings. Sisi kama wajumbe through mjumbe Orero tunaenda kuhakikisha ya kwamba kila mjumbe achange pesa ili wale watu ambao wamepoteza bidhaa zao na kioski zao wajengewe na waweke stock. Mimi nitaanzisha, mimi mwenyewe nitatoa 200,000 Kenya shillings.
All right, 20 minutes past the top of the hour. We take our first short commercial break right here on KUTV Weekend Live. See you on the other side with more top stories. Keep it KUTV.
Where uncertainty looms and opportunities are scarce, it's time to break from the barrier and unlock your full potential.
We must live within our means. We cannot spend money that we don't have.
We will explore the fascinating world of investment, trade secrets, and entrepreneurship.
Sasa challenges ziko mingi sana. Parking ya mzigo imekuwa mbaya. Unaweka pesa yako inakataa kurudi.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, we've got you covered with invaluable insights to help you succeed.
Now, this year we have seen a rebound in the economy, which is well above the global average of the 3%.
Join me, Anyango Sylvia, every Sunday and Monday on KUTV News at 9, and let's turn your dreams into reality.
Get ready to embark on a journey into the exciting world of technology as we uncover the latest trends, interview top thought leaders, and dive deep into the world of tech like never before.
Currently, we are facing the challenge in terms of finance. It requires one to move from different counties because we really need a large data set for our model to be more accurate.
In this new and exciting series of the Technovation Show, join me, Yvonne Kimuma, every Monday 8:30 p.m. for a fun and thrilling experience as we explore the cutting-edge developments, meet visionaries driving change.
Somebody who is in the underground mines doesn't know the presence of gas. So there are a lot of gases involved. There is methane, there is carbon monoxide, and there's also hydrogen sulfide. These gases actually, they are very dangerous and they're very toxic.
And discover the endless possibilities of the tech world.
My name is Jakub Petri. I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland. And I'm the main coordinator of the Cafe project, which is being here hosted by Kenyatta University.
My name is Eva Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting-edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
You are watching Weekend Live with Theo Macharia.
All right, welcome back to the broadcast. Let's continue keeping you up to speed with what is making headlines in the country and even beyond. Let's shift gears now to Mbeere North, where a number of concerned residents have been diagnosed with glaucoma, an eye condition linked to the consumption of salty water in the semi-arid region can potentially lead to blindness. This and other stories in our news from tonight with Becky Massey.
That can result to blindness, largely due to use of salt water in the semi-arid area. During a free medical camp organized by MP Geoffrey Ruku, many residents were also found to have high blood pressure and hypertension. MP Ruku urged the incoming health CS to ensure that universal health coverage and shift address the medical needs in undeserved regions.
Kuna changamoto katika sekta ya afya katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Ile mpango ya universal health care lazima aishikilie sawasawa. Ile mpango ya social health insurance fund lazima aishikilie sawasawa, na aone ya kwamba hii mpango imepangwa kwa njia ambayo inayopaswa.
Elsewhere, the Principal Secretary for Higher Education and Research, Dr. Beatrice Inyangala, has called on universities to adopt innovation and technology. Addressing the 25th graduation ceremony at Mount Kenya University, she reiterated the ministry's dedication to creating a supporting policy environment.
I urge all Kenyan universities to strive towards registering on the United Nations Academic Impact Platform so that we can double our initiatives aimed at achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
And in Kakamega County, people living with disabilities in Navakola Sub-County will benefit from toolkits from the National Fund for the Disabled of Kenya, which has donated tools of trade to 21 people living with disabilities in the area. During the NFDK programs, Officer Amos Okeyom Kenya asked the beneficiaries to utilize the toolkits to generate income and support themselves and their families.
Leo tumesaidia watu 21 na vifaa mbalimbali kama ya saloon, welding toolkit, carpentry na hata livestock check in form of checks. Tumesaidia watu 21 na vifaa za watu 800,000. Tumefurahi sana hapa Wakaholo, turn up was so good. Wamekuja karibu watu wote na tunaomba wale wamepewa hizi vifaa tafadhali tunaomba watumie vizuri.
The government and other willing partners have been called upon to join hands with the fund in order to support many other persons with disabilities. Becky Massey, Primetime News.
Somali leaders earlier today called on security agencies to remain vigilant following a brutal attack by Al-Shabaab fighters in Lido Beachview Hotel on Friday night. The attack left at least 35 people dead and 126 others wounded. And elsewhere in Nigeria, millions of residents have been placed under 24-hour curfews amid nationwide protests against the high cost of living. Our very own Abdisamit Mahmoud reports.
In Somalia's capital Mogadishu, a horrific attack has left at least 32 people dead and over 60 people wounded. The assault, claimed by the militant group Al-Shabaab, targeted Lido Beach on Friday night. It started with a suicide bomber's explosion at the Beachview Hotel's entrance, followed by armed attackers who opened fire on civilians. The scene, once a popular weekend retreat for residents, has now become a battlefield of terror. Fighting to overthrow Somalia's fragile government, Al-Shabaab has inflicted such violence for over 17 years. The struggle continues, highlighting the dire security situation in the country. In the United States, a major legal shift has occurred after U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin revoked plea deals with Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the alleged mastermind behind the September 11 attacks in 2001, alongside his accomplices. The deals, which could have spared them the death penalty, were reversed after backlash from the victims' families. The plea deals, initially seen as a potential resolution, have instead deepened the legal mix-up surrounding the 9/11 trials. The accused remain at Guantanamo Bay, where legal proceedings have stalled for years. And in Nigeria, economic hardships has ignited widespread protest in the West African country. Security forces have clashed with demonstrators in Abuja and Kano states, firing tear gas to disperse crowds. The unrest, driven by food shortages and claims of corruption, has resulted in curfews across several northern states. Amnesty International reports that at least 13 protesters have been killed by security forces. As tensions rise, Nigeria faces a critical juncture in addressing its economic and political challenges. Abdul Samad Mahmoud, KUTV.
Alright, time for us now to get sporty right here on KTV Weekend Live. And Macharia strikers have been knocked out of the Paris Olympic 2024 following a 3-0 defeat to Japan this afternoon. The result was their third consecutive defeat at the event after previously losing to Brazil by 3-1 before succumbing to heavyweights Poland by 3-1 again ahead of today's game. Macharia strikers are expected to jet back in the country as they switch focus to domestic competitions. And Kenya's sprinter Ferdinand Omanyala cruised to the semi-finals of 100 meters race after clocking 10 seconds and 8 microseconds in the men's 100 meters heat race at the Paris Olympics today afternoon. Omanyala will be out to replicate similar results in the semi-finals and final set on Sunday this weekend. At the same time, Kenyans failed to finish within the medal bracket in the 10,000 meters race, with Uganda's 3-time world champion Joshua Cheptegei winning the race at Stade de France on Friday, setting a new Olympic record of 26 minutes, 43 seconds and 14 microseconds. Right, they say in life, always learn to keep it short and sweet, and that is what KUTV Weekend Live has absolutely done on this first Saturday of August, keeping the news short and sweet. I hope you're adequately informed tonight. Until next Saturday, it's a good night, and our sign language interpreter for tonight has been Lucy Carrier, and my name is Theo Macharia. To the men and women behind the scenes who've made this entire bulletin a success, many thanks, and see you next Saturday. God bless and keep safe.